Phyllis Rice. I was a Keeling.
Tell me what's going on here today.
Lord, all kinds of fun. This is a Keeling and McClure reunion. Well, my mother was a McClure, Gertie.
Okay.
Gertie McClure. And she was wonderful. But when she whipped you, it wasn't wonderful. Oh, she used to go once a year. She'd go to her mother's, and all three of us girls would go with her. That was Mary and Mamie and myself. We went there once a year, and we stayed a couple of nights, like on Saturday and Sunday, and then we come back Sunday evening. We walked there too. We lived at Samarico, and she lived at Yawkey.
That's pretty far to walk.
And we walked. And we'd stay a couple of nights, and she had a piano. And none of us knew how to play piano. And boy, we just pounded the daylights out of the piano. She never called us down or nothing. And but the funniest part was when we'd go over there, the first place we'd hit for was her living room to that piano. And why, I don't know. I guess because we didn't have one. And my sister, younger than me, Mamie, she always wanted to play the piano. Boy, she'd just go to town on that piano, and you could, and the windows would shake in the house. But we had a lot of fun when we was little, and my mother was the greatest mother I thought in the world.
Well, now, do you have a grandma story?
I don't remember my grandma. My grandma passed away when I was 10.
Now, who have you seen here today that you know?
Well, practically everybody I know, but 2 or 3 people I don't know.
Well, it's just all of our kin gathering together and having a good time, talking and lying as always. Cousin Junior over there, he's the oldest one of the bunch. He's 92. He'll be 90. He'll be 93 the 17th, I think.
After I come back out of the Army, I couldn't hardly find work, and I took a job paper route. And I run paper route for about 20 years. We went on strike, and after I went on strike, I started doing carpenter work because my brother was a carpenter too, and I picked it up pretty fast. And from then on, I did carpenter work, and I belonged to Union when I retired. And I've been retired about 20-some years. I went over to Klein's home with Grandpa to get some early apples. And Klein was plowing up on the hill, and he had 2 or 3 rows left. And he wanted to go courting. He was courting Doshi then. Right. So he asked me, he said, if you'll plow the rest of this corn out, I'll give you some wine. Come down that. Well, I never drank any wine.
How old were you?
About 15. And we went down, they had a room outside they called the boys' room. And he had that the wine sitting there churning right in the middle of the floor. And he had one of these pint bottles, 12 ounces pint, they call them, little whiskey bottles where they carry under the belt.
So you could keep it hidden?
Yeah. And he just reached down that jar and dipped that pool out and we're not drinking. Well, I went around the hill to get the apples, early apples right then. And I was feeling pretty good to come back. I started begging Klein to give me some more. He didn't want to give me, but he finally dipped up an old one. Well, that done it. Time I got home, I didn't have an apple left in that sack, and I had to sit up on the hill and sober up before I could go to the house. I don't guess Dad and Mom ever did know it.
How old is she?
66.
Okay, I'm 72. That is the Everett Saul family, and that was his wife Liza Jane Saul, which she was a Kingery, and evidently that was Ida Kingery Roberts, a half sister, and that's Everett and holding daughter Wilma Jane and sons Everett Jr., Lester, and Kruger.
What's going on here?
This is a South Penn oil field ball team. South Penn Oil Company, Baltic. And
Why?
that is Uncle Denver McClure, Klein, my dad, Uncle Luther, Red Marion Adkins, Odie McClure. This fellow, we don't know who he is. This is Buddy Weaver, Don Woodrum, Jiggs Valentine, and Ruth Weaver, and Melvin Castle. Melvin Castle here is a cousin of ours too. That's Philip. Philip White. This is the William Walter McClure home place. It's on the head of Porter Fork. I think Dad told me it was Meta Branch or something like that. This is Darrell standing on the porch, and he owns this now, and he's redone it all, fixed it all up, and he built a bathroom here. This originally was the front of the house. It faced up the holler for some reason. I guess the road must have been coming that way or something. This is where they was all raised.
So how many people lived in that house at one time?
Well, how many was they? 16, something like that. Now they had another room separate that had 2 rooms up there that they stayed in. And as Junior said earlier, it was the boys' room.
That was his first car he ever had.
My father originated from Turkey Creek and Hurricane and lives in Summers County, or did, and in Monroe County, and he had quartets that he formed everywhere he went, and they would be called to different churches to sing at the singing conventions, and then he taught how to sing, the singing schools at the churches in Monroe County and in Summers County. He taught singing schools at all the little churches, and my grandfather, his dad, James Franklin Keeling from Hurricane, they were a large singing group, all the Keelings of this generation, and we would all gather around an old piano at Grandpa Keeling's house. But he was James Franklin Keeling, and he was mayor and justice of the peace at Hurricane for many years. We had to sing at some of the conventions. Dad would just call us up, and you did what Dad said, back in the 40s and so forth. But it was fun. We were scared to death as children, but, to stand in front of people and sing, but it was fun. That was our life, the church and singing. I loved to sing, and I used to be in the choir at the church, and when I first went to Fifth Avenue Church of God in South Charleston, the pastor's wife was the choir director and everything, and she formed a little group. We were called the Sunshine Trio, and me and 2 other ladies from the church sang in this trio, and she also had a quartet. So, church has been my whole life, and I've had a great time getting acquainted with all these Keeling people, the sisters and Tim and Debbie, who started this whole reunion and have done an outstanding job of getting everything together.
Well, I was just glad to see everybody that's here. I would like to say more, but I was really glad to see everybody here. I enjoy all of it.
What's your favorite part about a day like this?
Talking.
I like to say my name is Mary Sue Wallace. I'm a Keeling, and my dad's name was Com Keeling, and my mother, Gertie Lee Keeling. Gertie Lee Keeling was from Yawkey.
She was
my
a McClure.
McClure. But my dad, it was from Turkey Creek a long time ago.
Well, now tell me a story about your dad.
Well, my dad was he worked on oil wells, and he was a farmer. and who went with him on the sled everywhere he went and ride the horse. Just to get to ride the horse, I'd walk a mile. And so one day, my brother was coming up with the old mule with harnesses on her. And so I had to get on her. And AC threw me on that mule. And while he was putting the drawbars up, well, the mule took a notion to go on home, and it did. Right under a plum tree it went, and scratched my neck, and I was a-screaming. And I still got a scar on my throat where that old plum tree got me.
But that didn't stop you from doing the mule thing.
Oh no! When we was kids, we used to get in the hog pen and ride the hogs.
Oh, tell them about us putting them cuckleburs on them two little pigs and denying it.
Oh.
We made saddles on them. And
you did what? What did you do?
We took them cuckleburs and we put a saddle right yay big on top of the little pig. Then we went right under his belly with it, and well, we turned them loose, and we forgot about them. And we went to the house. Well, when my father went to feed, he seen them on them pigs, and he said, "All right, girls, tell me who done it." I don't know what you're talking about. None of us would tell on each other. He said, "Okay, kids, let's line up." So we lined up, and he said, "Mamie, did you do that?" She said, "No, I didn't." He said, "Mary, did you do that?" Mary said, "No, I didn't."
Make the long story short.
"Phyllis, did you do that?" "No." He said, "Okay." So he took a razor strap and he whooped all three of us. And he said, "I'll make sure I get the right one." We was always in trouble, so and we wouldn't tell on each other, and we'd all three get whippings. And why we did that, I don't know. But we never did tell on each other. But we'd go to the creek, and we'd wade in the creek because we couldn't swim.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
We just waded in the creek, and it was up to our waist. And my brother would come down, he'd grab us by the neck and hold us under the water. I guess that's the reason I never did learn to swim. When we'd go to we had a mailbox down there, and the guy that brought the mail, he rode a horse. And we'd go down there, and after the mail would run, we'd get in the creek and play in the creek, and we'd sit down in the creek, and we'd go home wet, naturally. And half of the mail would be wet. But we do that just for the heck of it. We love the water, but we never did learn to swim.
So even now you don't swim?
I don't swim now. I had a swimming pool, and I give it to my daughter. My youngest daughter told me, she says, "Mother, I'm going to show you how to swim." And I said, "Okay, if you could do that, I'll be fine." She said, "Now all you got to do is just lay down here." And I did. I went right down to the bottom of the pool, and she reached down and got me by the shirt and pulled me back up. And I said, "I thought you was going to teach me to swim." And she says, "Well, I told you what you had to do." And I said, "I know, but you didn't tell me I'm supposed to sink." But I still can't swim. All my kids can swim, just like fish, but not me.
Wow. Garrett, get your butt over there. Come on.